Hey YouTube, just going over some issues that you may or may not have if you have a SKS and you ordered some magazines. These are 330 round magazines. These two on the right are Zytel magazines. Got them from I think Centrifuge Systems. They're Zytel magazines, and there's a deal on them. They were only $13 a piece, normally 39 or something like that. And this is one of the Korean magazines. They get a lot of heat, but as for the banana clips, have always worked well. Regardless of what furniture I have on this, the Korean drum won't fit on the ATI Strike Force, but the magazine will. I didn't want to do any nasty modifications to the drum. Plus, it's steel. These Zytels are kind of a composite plastic type, so there's room for modification. Anyway, as soon as I put these in, the first thing I noticed is they didn't fit. Several issues I had with these. First is they didn't fit. There's quick modifications will go real fast with you. And the second is once your bolt shuts, feeding a round in the magazine. Around in the chamber. When you, if you try to eject around, rack it to make sure it feeds well. Once you've got it to fit, it won't come back. So then you have to loosen the magazine up, and it turns out that it's took a lot of experimenting, but I found out where it was catching. Okay, so I'm going to be real quick about this. So basically, what you have here is with these Zytel magazines, gonna get this in light. The bill is real pointy, and it takes up a lot of room. And it'll start catching in the back. And the first place it'll catch is, gosh, I need some light. First place it'll catch is right back here. So what I did was this goes all the way to the back. So I ground this little L back here to give it just a smidge of necessary clearance. And then I started flattening the nose out a little bit here. It had a sharper angle. The one thing that the Koreans did well is you notice that it's a flatter angle. Of course, this comes in, and it's tapered right here. And then you also notice that these are very higher angles. And these Zytels here, they cut in at a very sharp angle. So, in a nutshell, every one of these, the nose had to be abruptly brought in, along with the cut. That diagonal cut there on the back of it to help with that clearance. And then there's this little round nose here. So you ground that down. This goes all the way up, and what that does is that catches your magazine stop. So it pushes it up. The lever goes up, and it catches it, and your bolt stops there. Your bolt action stops. So it helps catch it open, so you know when you're out of ammunition. So you grind this thing down so it doesn't get in the way. And then when the bolts start spinning, there's this little rod that comes up in its place. It does its job. All I did was I followed the Koreans, and where theirs stopped, right there, I made sure mine matched. And it did good. So you're going to want to grind that down, otherwise it'll get in the way all the time. So your bolt won't even close. So you grind that down, grind the nose, flatten the nose out a smidge, taper the corner, and then on the very top here, you want to bring about 2 millimeters, shave about 2 millimeters off the inside of each one of these, because once this gets in, and once your bolt closes and feeds the first round, and it won't come back. It'll catch on this. And I've tapered this at an angle because this Zytel comes stock flat. And I noticed that the Korean one came at an angle. I thought, well, gee, maybe it's catching like that. And I shaved it down, and it still caught. And then I put the Korean one in there. Helps having one that works. Put the Korean one in there, and I saw that there was just a hair. This was showing just a hair in from the chamber when the bolt was open. You barely see it, and the Zytel stock the stock shaping comes in quite a bit, and so my bolt's catching on the way back in, tapered or not. So you're gonna have to shave that a couple millimeters off the inside, and when you do, it'll look a lot more like the Korean one, but it's not. So there you have it. Oh yeah, and don't forget to round that part out there, because it comes stock looking flat like that, and it won't. You can't just slap it in. You're gonna have to hold the trigger, and that's a pain in the butt. So you're gonna want to round that out like this, so the angle just kind of pushes the lever side and catches. So summary: round that out so you don't have to play with the lever. Cut this little notch here on both sides to give you the clearance when you're coming in, because it being square is too much. Bring this angle in some, shave some of that off, so that you have complete clearance to bring this in. And then you're going to want to taper this at a 45 instead of the 90 it's at. Take a couple millimeters off the inside so you just barely see it when your bolt is open and you're looking. Alright, hope that helps.